Safety at our operations, not only the boron operations, but our operations worldwide, is paramount.
Safety is our #1 priority at Hammersley Iron.
Safety is of paramount importance to Dampier Salt.
We're not at 0 injuries right now, but we're getting very close, and that's our target.
Rio Tinto already enjoys one of the best records on safety in the mining industry. The company has now embarked on a drive that will raise its safety performance to an even higher level than before.
Over the last few years we've set what I'd call demanding but achievable goals on performance improvement, and we've seen across the board our ability to improve our safety performance.
The company now has a target of 0 injuries and 0 fatalities at work. Achieving this will require the cooperation of every employee.
If we are going to be able to have 0 injuries, we all have to work toward that and create a culture where we think about safety in everything that we do.
We've got to instill in people not only an attempt to look after themselves, but also to be very aware of their workmates.
Nowadays, you can say that our people understand very well our priority in terms of safety. Normally, these people came from farms or garimpo, and we have to expend a lot of hours in training.
The first credit I have to give is to the workforce. They're very well cross-trained, so they know not only their job, but their co-workers' job, and that's very important as well. We involve everyone in it, from the janitor to the mine manager to the president of the company are all highly involved in it.
Every day that we're on site, we spend at least 1 hour in the operations talking to people about safety and making sure that they understand the safety procedures.
In 2000, Rio Tinto introduced minimum safety standards that are applicable across all of our operations. We did that because we were concerned that we didn't have consistent standards of practice around the group.
The company has developed standards that are second to none as far as in their ability to protect people. The implementation of those standards is the greatest challenge in getting people to understand that they're responsible for their safety and they're responsible for their safety of their fellow workers.
We developed what we call the Rio Tinto safety standards, if you like, the golden rules. And we've found that if we adhere to those, we can really make a difference.
To find an appropriate safety benchmark, Rio Tinto looked beyond the mining industry and consulted DuPont Chemicals, an organization with one of the best industrial safety records in the world. One of the programs they imported from DuPont is known as Safety Management Audit Training, or SMAT.
It's an auditing program that's not about auditing the environment and ladders and cords and things like that, but it's about how we evaluate jobs, how we assess the risk associated with work, and take actions then to address that risk and the overall behaviors that we have in the workplace.
Reducing accidents over the last number of years, as we have, was a very much of a focus on conditions, guarding of equipment, training of people. Working with DuPont, they've told us that given where you're at and the maturity of the safety program, now clearly behaviors are where you have to focus.
Another innovation adapted from DuPont is the taproot process, an effective method for investigating an incident.
Taproot is a system for organizing how you do your investigation and making sure that you ask enough of the right questions to really understand the root cause of the particular situation or circumstance. Because unless you can get to kind of the fundamental reason that an accident or incident has occurred, it could happen again.
Best practice on safety is transferred across the group via a safety website, by personnel exchanges, and by the growing involvement of operation line managers in the safety audit process.
Rio Tinto have brought an increased safety focus to the operation. It has heightened people's awareness of the importance of working safely. It also has the benefits of being part of a large worldwide organisation. We actively interchange technologically with other operations around the world, such as the block cave in Palabora, where we can learn from them as they can learn from us.
Important safety lessons can be learnt not just from actual incidents, but from near misses too. Potentially significant incidents are reported and transmitted around the group in just the same way as a genuine accident would have been.
A lot of times near misses just mean that you were lucky and that there could have been a fatality or a serious injury.
But how can Rio Tinto maintain consistent safety standards on a global scale?
The task of bringing a new acquisition, for example, on board in Rio Tinto with regard to our expectations, our policies, our standards, the Rio Tinto safety standards, is a process that begins very quickly after that acquisition is brought into the group.
Our employees have different backgrounds, so it was always a big challenge to educate and train them towards safety. We have a 5-minute talk every day, every shift, where we try to train people. We have inspections every day to try to educate people, to try to create opportunities to train people towards safety.
We are not satisfied with being one of the best safety performers in the mining and metals industry. We, in fact, want to be one of the best performers in industrial operations, period.
We'd always say we were very concerned about safety, but we've really put a lot of emphasis over the last few years to really take our performance to a new level. I think we've recognised that it is possible to run a plant without an injury and without a lost time accident.
The safety record on site, in fact, an employee on site is 16 times safer than off the job. So I sort of tell them to come to work more often and get safer.